Hey guys, thanks for watching. Just a quick video on refeed tips and tricks. So there's a couple of common mistakes we have with refeeds. There's mainly just three really, and they're all interrelated. So blowing out on fat is the main one, not having enough fibre, and poor planning. So if you don't plan properly, then you're probably not going to have enough fibre, and you're probably going to overconsume fat. So I'm just going to show you a quick example of poor planning, lack of fibre, and blowing out on fat. So I'll just show you a quick example of poor planning, which resulted in not enough fibre and blowing out on fat. So this is an example I did a little while ago. So I was just away for this weekend, so I didn't have all of my food prepared. I had some of it, so I've just got an egg white omelette for breakfast on gluten-free bread, halloumi, pumpkin. You can see all these things that I consumed for breakfast because I had breakfast out. During the day I had a couple of meals prepared, trained that day, did legs, and then went out to dinner. So this was the refeed meal here, and you can just kind of see that there's 2,000 calories for the meal, but the problem is 126 grams of that came from fat. Generally, that's not optimal. If you look at my goals for the day, it was only like 70 grams of fat here. So that just basically means that 900 calories of this came from 900 to 1,000 calories came from fat. Now that's not what you want for a refeed day when you've probably got like about 900 calories that you've gone over in fat, then only like 500 calories here is going to be from carbs. That's generally not optimal because what we're trying to do is have your refeed of carbohydrates, so just increasing those carbohydrates to ensure that your leptin levels are increased so that you can burn fat in the next couple of days quite a bit more than you have been previously because you've been in a calorie deficit. So if you look at the options here, I went out to a Hurricanes on the Gold Coast. I had garlic bread, so that's pretty high in fat. Chips, which are high in fat. Had ribs, which are high in fat. I had potatoes, which were good. Steak, which is high in fat. And mashed potato, which is high in fat. So just overall, it was just poorly planned because I didn't plan ahead. I just ate what I felt like when I was there, and the results showed from that. So if you can plan ahead, it's going to be a lot better. If you look at my fiber intake for the day, because I hadn't planned, only 28 grams. So this is more like a cheat meal, and it's just not going to get you the results you're looking for. So these should be avoided at all times. So lesson learned for that one. So here are your tips for refeed days. Plan your refeed meal ahead of time, so you want to do that first. You want to enter that in first, and then the rest of your food around that. So then plan the rest of your day ahead of time to ensure that you hit your fibre, calorie, and macro goals. So even on refeed days, you still have macronutrient targets that you want to hit. So again, keeping that protein the same, keeping that fat just a little bit higher than what you normally have, and getting the majority of your refeed from carbohydrates. So when planning your day ahead of time as well, you want to overestimate the portion size that you're going to get because you never really know how big it's going to be. Unless they have the set calories and macronutrients when you're checking online ahead of time, then you're just not going to know if you're going to get, say, 100 grams or 200 grams. So it's always better to overestimate. That way you still have calories to fill at the end of the day after the meal. So you can throw in some extra food there if need be. So just remember that you must hit or surpass your fibre target every day, and even more essential on refeed days. So remembering fibre isn't broken down in your body, it just gets pushed straight through, so it helps remove all the toxins from your body. So when having a refeed meal, this is when it's extremely critical. If you can get that fibre in, then it's going to be a lot better for you. So here's just a quick reminder of some high fibre food. So linseed meal, or you can get psyllium husks or something like that. 50 grams is probably a bit much to start on to serve for a serving size. But even if you just halve that, you'd still get 14 grams of fibre for the day. So you've got these Goodness Superfood fibre bars. So you can get them from Coles or Woolies most places. Some Coles and Woolies don't stock them. If not, you can just Google them online. They have 9 grams per bar, so it's a great way to increase your fibre. Combination foods as well. So you've got the same brand of wraps. These are available in all Coles or Woolies, just in the wrap section. You just want to make sure you get this brand because it's the highest in fibre. Have one of those wraps with half an avocado and you're going to get 17 grams of fibre, so that's going to really increase it. If you have one of these tins, you're going to get 17 grams of fibre, so that's just a 400 gram serve here. So that's also going to get you some protein and carbohydrates as well, so you just want to factor that in. Steamed vegetable bags here, so these are quite easy and convenient, so you can just get 4 grams per bag of those, so you can just have like a couple of bags of those as well. These are all options that you can just have readily available to always have fibre. If you can just keep these at home at all times, you can always make sure you hit your fibre targets. So they're all long lasting except for the avocado that needs to be kind of fresh. But the rest of these you should always have in stock at home. So when planning ahead, you want to check out the menu online and decide what you want to eat. As I said before, like you can't really tell the portion sizes. If you're going to have like a steak or something, they'll generally give you the portion size. So they'll say 200 grams porterhouse, and then you can just enter it in from there. So I'll show you another example. So I've just got another example here of a meal that I plan to have out. This was after a competition, so I basically was a cheat meal. I was eating everything that I could because it was after my last competition. Alright, so I had 300 grams of porterhouse, so I checked online and that's what I planned to have, and I noticed it comes with beer batter chips, so I entered that in. Had a glass of wine there as well, and a piece of cake afterwards. So I entered all of that in before that day, because I had read the menu and checked online. Saw the portion size for the steak, I just had a bit of a guess about that, and then I altered that when I actually ate it, just to understand how much that was. Ate the cake as well, it was delicious. If you're planning a refeed meal and the food is not in the app, so for example, I live in Fortitude Valley. If I went to Taqueria to get a burrito, it's not a well-known company, and then there's only like a couple of them, so they're not really franchised. So what I could do is just search in the app for a similar product, because generally they have most of the same content in burritos, so it's going to be close enough. So if I went and searched for a burrito at Gunman and Gomez, then it'll probably come up with similar foods, and I'd be able to enter that in and get extremely close macronutrient and calorie intake from that. So if available, then just choose one of those franchised version of takeaway places or restaurants. Will it be 100% accurate? No, but that's fine. It's more about being conscious about what you're consuming and making sure you're still hitting those fiber, macronutrient, and calorie goals, and getting that extra carbohydrates and not blowing out on things like fat or calories. If you haven't planned ahead or their menu isn't online, then just ensure you have plenty of macros to play with first of all, and you can do that by choosing low fat options throughout the day so that you can have plenty of fat to make sure you get the food in, and then having what you think would be on the menu, like if there's going to be enough room for a big piece of steak or something, or to pasta restaurant, you might want to check out how much is in a normal pasta and just making sure you've got enough calories to kind of fit that in. So I'm going to run through a quick example. This is going to be today, so I've got a leg workout today. It's one of my refeed days, so I'm just going to show you how I'm going to plan that in MyFitnessPal. So I'm going to start with the food that I want to eat for my refeed, and then work around that to get the rest of the food in. So here we are in MyFitnessPal. So we've got nothing entered in here. So I've got my calorie goals here. I've got 2,535, which is my daily goal at the moment. So my refeed's going to be an extra 1,000 calories on top of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start at the bottom here. I'll just go with the example of, say, grilled. So I'm just going to search grilled. Alright, so I've just entered in what the meal can look like. So I'm just going through. So just the snack chips here, Moroccan lamb burger and a solo. So I know that they have solo, they're not the 600ml bottles. Just Moroccan lamb burger, that sounds good. I'm just going to look here at the fat content for that meal. It's only 30 grams, but the carbs are 150, 1,000 calories. I can quite easily fit that into my macronutrients there. Because I'm taking up one of my other meals as well, I'm going to have to go over that. So maybe I'll have two of those. So in that case, what I might add in is some extra sorbet or something to get those calories up even higher. So I'm going to choose mango, love mango. Half a cup, make it a full cup. So I know that sorbet is really high in sugar, but I know that there's no fat in it. If you get something like gelato, there's going to be a lot more fat in it. So I just know that, and I don't mind sorbet anyway, so I can have that. So now it's up to 1,500 calories. So normally for dinner, I'd probably have about 500 calories. So now that it's at 1,500, it's probably going to fit into my goals. 176 grams of carbs, only 43 grams of fat. So for my normal goals, so if I'm going to get, I've only got 35 grams of fat. So it just means for the rest of the day through here, I have to make sure that I only use 35 grams of fat. So I'm just going to choose low fat options. Like I'll probably avoid having avocado or flax meal or things like that, because even though they have lots of fiber, they also have lots of fat as well. So I'm just going to choose options to be more carbohydrate based for this day. And also my protein sources, I'll probably have egg whites or something for breakfast. I haven't had breakfast yet. If I have egg whites with rice or something, again, that's just going to be low in fat, high in protein and carbohydrates. Start entering that in now and just come up with a bit of an example to fit all of that in. I've entered in all of my food that I ate yesterday, so I've just copied that straight across to see how close I am to my macronutrient goals. So if I look here, I'm probably 26 grams of fat over, so that just means I've got to drop 26 grams of fat. Protein should be fine, and carbs there. I probably want to get a bit more carbohydrates. So what I might do is I'm going to remove these almonds here, avocado here. Now I've probably hit my macronutrient goals pretty closely here, so I just need some more carbohydrates. So remove some of the fat sources, and I've got my fat under here now, my proteins where it should be, which is good. Probably need to get some more fiber and some more carbohydrates. So I'm going to be choosing options like that to ensure that I hit those targets. So probably dropping out a little bit of protein that I have and adding in a can of no added salt beans, some 4 bean mix here, so it's just 200 grams, so it's not even a full tin, and we've pretty much got our calories where they need to be. So within 100 calories here of my goal of having 1000 calories over, my fat's perfectly spot on, and I'm only 11 grams of protein over. So I can probably manipulate that a little bit more to get that protein within range, but I'd be happy with that. Within like 10 grams of protein is sufficient. I've also surpassed my fiber intake for the goal by 10, so this is going to be like a perfect refeed day, because I've planned it out ahead of time. So I've also get to have my grilled burger, nice big can of soft drink, 2 lots of chips, some mango sorbet to get my 1500 calorie spike. So I'll be doing that after my leg workout this afternoon. And then I've planned the rest of my day to be quite flexible, and then it's going to give me the hormonal effect that I'm looking for. Can I do this every day? You can do it with your normal food intake, as it is the flexible part of flexible dieting. Difficult on those regular days because it's harder to be more flexible. It just depends also on what your goals are. So there's the same rules that we're going to apply, hitting your fiber and macronutrient goals every day. And it is also good to kind of mix it up a little bit to get those foods that you're craving without feeling guilty about consuming them and ruining your diet. But your goals are going to determine how flexible you can be with your macronutrient choices. So a good example is people love ice cream. So you can kind of fit that into your macronutrients every now and then. So you might decide that you want to have some ice cream today because you've really been craving that the last couple of days. So I'll get you to enter that into MyFitnessPal first. Now you can get some good tasting low-fat ice cream options like Skinny Cow. If you go to Coles or Woolies, go into the ice cream section, go to Skinny Cow area, and you can get some good low-fat options. So it doesn't take up too many calories, and you can still have that food without feeling guilty about it and blowing out your diet. The best time to have those foods when you are consuming not the best is directly after training as well, because that's when your body can absorb nutrients the fastest, especially high sugar items. So remember, a refeed day is not a cheat meal where you have a free-for-all and just consume everything you can and whatever is available. It is a strategic overfeeding of certain foods to get that optimal hormonal effect for fat loss. So it just means that you can have those foods every now and then, as long as they fit into your macronutrient goals. So remember, plan your refeed meal ahead of time, like the example I gave today. So I know that I'm going to hit my targets, and it's not going to be up in the air whether I'm going to have too much fat here or not enough carbohydrates there. So just remember as well, I've planned the rest of the day ahead of it, and then I've overestimated my portion sizes as well. Thanks again for watching, and enjoy your refeeds.